Crabbing by Jeremy, aka Survival Craft. Okay, so enough of that stuff. Anyway, yesterday I went crabbing at the Souk Dock and I put together this video showing how I prepared the crabs that I caught for eating. So please stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe if you like this video. Thank you so much for watching. Hey guys, it's Jeremy again. I've just been at the ocean crabbing and I caught two big crabs big enough to keep. So I figured I'd make a video on preparing, cooking, and tasting the crabs. So let's get started. I brought the crabs home in this cooler, so I'll just get them out now. Okay, here's one. Here's the other one. I'll just let them drip off for a second. Okay, put them down for a second. Move the cooler out of the way. And then I can put them on this cloth. Okay, so there's the two crabs. They are still alive, as you can tell. So I am going to prepare the water and start the water boiling. Well, preparing. So I am going to take, since I have two crabs, I'm just going to take a measuring cup. I didn't get it out before, sorry. I'm going to take about 4 to 6 cups per crab of water. So I'm going to do about between 8 and 12 cups. So that's 2 cups. There's 4 cups. Here's 6 cups. Here's 8 cups. There, I'm going to do 10 cups. So now, I'm going to just throw in sorry about that noise. I'm going to cut some onion to put in. I'm going to take off a good chunk of that. Maybe 2 pieces. So about 2 slices of onion. I'm just going to peel off the very outside. I'm not going to peel it all because I'm probably not going to be eating the actual onion. So I'm just going to shoot that stuff off. And then cut each of these rings in half. Just so it sort of will fall apart a bit better. And throw all that in the pot. Then I'm going to add not too much salt. I know lots of people say to add lots of salt. The crabs themselves are naturally quite salty, so you don't need to add too much salt. I'm going to add a little bit. I'm not 100% sure exactly the measurements, but just sort of add what feels right. Like, sort of depends how salty you like your food. So, a little bit more, not too much. That's about good, like that. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then I'm going to add some pepper. Again, I don't know the exact measurement. I just sort of add what feels right. Like, depending on how peppery. Because it's more of a flavor for the meat, like a hit. It doesn't really strong flavor. So you add more than you think you need. And then I also have some of this. It's a maple leaf spices. It's a zesty lemon pepper spice. I really like it. It's really nice for putting in water. It's really good for cooking. And so I'm not going to put too much in, but I'm just going to put in a little bit. And that is basically what I normally add to the pot. And sometimes I'll throw other stuff in. Maybe I'll put a little bit more onion in. But that's all I add. That's really it. There we go. A bit more onion. And so now I'm going to put this pot on to boil. Okay, the water has now reached a complete boil. It's like, it's really hot. So I am just going to make sure it doesn't overboil. And I'm going to prepare the crabs. So I'm going to take the crabs out of the ice water. Don't dump the ice water out. You're going to need it for after. And I'm going to take both the crabs and I'm just going to put them on a towel to dry a little bit. Wait, my water's going to overboil. Let me turn it down. Okay, so, but now I've got my 2 crabs out and they're starting to come back to life. So I'm going to quickly dip just the face into the cold water. And that will just sort of slow them down a little bit, put them a bit more to sleep. People do that in the freezer as well, but I find cold water works a lot quicker because it goes into them as well as just covering them outside cold. So now, just let me turn the camera. There. And I'm going to put them one at a time into the boiling water, not cold water. And I put the crab in, and then I wait for the water to come back to a boil before I put the other crab in, so that the second crab isn't like inhumanely killed. And they die instantly the second, and you drop them in head first, so that they die instantly. Just like that, and they're dead instantly. And now I'm going to wait for the water to come back to a rolling boil before I put the other crab in. And it's starting to reach a boil again, but I'm going to wait another few seconds. And put this guy's head into the water, let him calm down. There we go. Pat him off. Towel, so not too much cold water is going in with it. I'm just going to turn this back up to high. I had to turn it down, but it's going to reach boil in a few seconds. And move this crab to the side. And basically, the length of cooking time varies depending on who you ask, but a really simple thing is when they float to the surface, they're done, or wait a few more minutes, like maybe 1 or 2 more minutes after that. So don't overcook them. They aren't very good if they're overcooked. So the water's back to a boil. I'm just going to put this other crab in. There, and he dies instantly once his head goes in, and everything that's left is just nerves. That's all nerves. So now I'm just going to fold his legs in and then put the lid on. Okay, so yeah, he's just twitching. Anyway, I will get back to you once they're finished, and I'll show you the next step. Oh, sorry, I just forgot to add, but you do want the crabs completely covered in water so that they cook evenly and they don't have bits that are raw because they were sticking out of the water. I just wanted to add that so you don't have raw crab. Okay, one more thing, just while the crab's cooking, is I am going to melt some butter. So I just took a measuring cup, a glass measuring cup, and I'm not 100% sure how much, I'm not going to be using all of this, but I'm going to melt it down. So I'm going to put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds and see how melted it is, and may put it for a little bit more. But you don't want it over melted so it's so hot that it just like cooks, it overcooks, like deep fries almost the crab meat that you put in. So you have to be careful about that. Anyway, that's just adding another step. I will show you once the crab is finished. Okay, so the crabs have started to float, which normally means that they're pretty much finished. So I left them for a few more minutes, and so I'm pretty sure, like I'm 99% sure that they're completely cooked. Yeah, they're definitely cooked. So I'm going to now take them out, and I'm going to put them directly into my cold water. I'm just going to adjust the camera angle. There. So I'm going to take them out of there, put them directly into there, and then when they're done in there, I'm going to put them onto that plate. So I'm just going to do that. I decided to use a pair of tongs because I was worried I might drop them if I use my spoon. My big spoon thing. Okay. Hopefully I don't drop them with tongs, that'd be bad. Okay. And it's out. And into the cold water. For both of them, because I don't want them to overcook. Okay, that wasn't good. Wasn't very good. So let me take this pot off. Okay. So, don't drop water on the burner. It's a bad idea. I just gotta clean that up quickly. I'll get back to you in a few minutes once the crabs have cooled down. Okay, so the crabs have cooled down quite a bit. They're still warm. You can see there's still steam coming out, but they're cool enough that I can clean them, and that they've mostly stopped cooking inside. So I'm going to show you how I clean a crab, which is quite a messy process. Okay, so the way that I clean a crab is, the first step, basically the only tool you need is a spoon, and that is pretty much it. So first step is take this flap on the bottom, because the crabs that are legal to keep are all males, at least where I am. So they'll have a flap on the bottom in the middle. So you'll take that and sort of pull it up. And watch out, because it's actually two really sharp things underneath. And you'll sort of break that off the back and throw that in your bucket. That's waste. Then, this is a kind of gross part. You sort of have to stick your thumb in under and rip up the whole shell off the top, just like this. And the whole shell will just come right off. And that is all full of some stuff that some people do eat, but I don't, because I find it kind of gross. But then you clean the center out, rip all of that out, and these are dead man's fingers, they're sometimes called, but they're essentially the gills of the crab, so those are also waste product. So you take all that out. And then you also break off the two mouthpieces. They come in these two flaps, and you've got to rip those off. Okay, sorry, I just bumped the tripod. Then you make sure you got everything that's there, and then you open up this middle, and it's got all of this yellow stuff, and you can either choose to run water on it, which can ruin the flavor and taste of the meat. So sometimes I just end up using my finger and cleaning it out. It's sort of gross. You have to make sure to wash your hands after, but if you can clean most of it out with your finger, then you take it and break it in half. Oh, sorry, I hit the tripod again. And break it completely in half. Down the middle. Now, I'm going to take it over the sink and shake it as hard as I can and get all that goop to come out, hopefully. I'm not going to bring the camera over because I don't want to do all that, so I'll be right back. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm back, and I've got these two halves clean by shaking them repetitively over the sink. So now I'm just going to move all the guts out of the way, and same with the other crab, which I still have to clean. He's still completely intact. He's kind of cool. Move him out of the way. Oh, I didn't mention, but they do turn a quite brilliant orangey red color when cooked. So, oh, and this is my melted butter in case you were wondering. So now, I've got them at this stage, and I'm going to take off all of the legs and the claws. And the best way is to twist, because then each leg comes, if you do it right, with a piece of meat. And then the claw. You're supposed to do it, sorry, I did that wrong, but the claw is supposed to have a huge piece of meat at the end. But there, and now same for the other side. Just break off all of the legs. There, this one worked even better. So now I'm left with just, roll it to the side for a sec. Those all have a lot of edible meat. So now I'm left with just this. Doesn't look like it has very much meat in it, but now that's where the spoon comes in. I'm going to use the handle, and I'm going to whack basically the whole thing with either the back of this shovel bit, like actual spoon, the side of it, and the handle. And I'm just going to crack everything here. I'm going to just crack it so that I can peel it off. Oops. Okay. Just like that. Now I can start peeling the whole thing. Okay, and as you can see, the second I started, this meat started to just come out. So I've got meat falling out. Like that. That's a good piece of crab meat. So I'm going to quickly taste it. Let's move this over here. And take a piece, dip it in the butter, and taste it. That's really good. It's a really cool consistency. I really like the flavor. That's delicious. Okay, now I've got to eat more. So, it's really good. The butter adds some good flavor to it. And a good texture, because otherwise it'd be a little bit plain. But the butter is really good with it. But that's really good. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you how to prepare is the claw and the legs. So for the legs, I'll start with, I'm just going to make sure that you can see where I'm. Yeah, you can see. I'm just going to zoom in. Okay, there you go. So for the legs, there's really, unless you've broken it like this and there's like a big clump at the top that's got meat in it, which I'm just going to take off right now. And so basically you've got this. This is the leg. It's got like a point at the end where the crab used for walking. That's actually quite sharp. And that some people will use to pick the meat out. So that is taken off as the first step. And it does come with a bit of this. This is not meat. It's just a nerve tendon thing. The next thing, now you have two sections. A small section and a larger section. And the smaller section does have a hinge in it, which is what gives the crab more mobility. This smaller section has very minimal meat. It has hardly any. So I also normally take that off. Which leaves me with just the larger section. This is really not very much meat, so it's normally not worthwhile. But the best way to prepare it, just let me grab something. Is you take a pair of scissors and you stick them all the way up the inside and cut it. Just cut the leg section open like that. You don't even have to do very much of it. You can just peel it once you start it, but then you can just peel this whole thing off and it exposes a piece of crab meat, which is perfect. It's really good. This meat in the leg is what I know a lot of people really like, because it's where the crab is used to walk. But there you go. Peel off any of these extra little shell on it. But that's just straight meat. I'm just gonna eat that. It's sort of, if you haven't had crab before. Oh shit, I dropped it. Yay. Okay. There you go. I think I prefer the leg meat. It's really nice. So now I'm going to quickly show you how to prepare claw. So you'll see the claw actually has three sections. The actual claw pincher, a small section in the middle, and then a thing that's like the leg. It's just got, but it's a lot bigger because it's got a lot more muscle in it. So I'm going to break it into three sections. There. There. So, this first section does have meat. You do it the same as with the leg. You just take a pair of scissors, stick it in here, oops, and cut it. This bit is not worthwhile opening. It's normally got some holes and damage in it, especially this one. It's been hit there and it's got a crack and it's some bunch of stuff and it looks black and it doesn't look very good. But then this bit is the bit that is really good. It's the actual claw itself. You can see it still can open and shut. But here, I'm going to show you how to prepare this. The first thing you'll see is it's actually this whole bit and this bottom bit is fixed. It's only this top bit that actually opens and shuts down onto the bottom. So the first thing you want to do is take that top bit and rip it out. And it'll come out with something similar to the leg, sort of these little fin things that aren't, they're just like, they break and not very good. Now you want to take this, take your pair of scissors in that hole that you just broke that thing out of. And you don't want to cut very far because you'll damage it. But, okay, this one worked really well. I can just cut all the way through. But you want to cut the shell same as the leg. And peel it. Okay, let's pull that out. Get the extra little tiny piece of the shell off. And now you're left with this. And the claw meat, more than the leg meat had a little bit, it has this like skin on it, which is like fibrous, and most people peel it off. It doesn't taste bad, it's just a weird consistency. So, I'm not going to take it off, but you can sort of peel it off if you want, but it will take away some of the meat. Anyway, I'm just going to eat this and see how this tastes. Okay. That's really good. My favorite, I'm pretty sure, would be the leg meat. And second favorite is the body. My third favorite would be the claw, just because I find it a little bit more chewy. It may be because it was used more and it had more muscle in it, but I found it quite chewy. I'm just gonna have a little piece of the body. Okay. I really like that. This is my first time using those seasonings for cooking crab. I normally don't add the chicken stuff. You can sort of taste a little hint of that turkey broth in the meat. It's really good. So I highly recommend you try this. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And please do comment if you try this. Tell me how you liked it. Tell me if there's anything that I should change for next time. Anyway, as always, please stay tuned and bye.